So, ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking about, well, marijuana. There's no way of getting around that. It's been trending on Twitter today, and I just want to quickly discuss all the, opinions and discussions I've seen floating around the internet. The premise for why it is trending is because President Biden issued a federal pardon for every American who previously used marijuana. So basically what that means is if you got arrested or you're on parole for marijuana or attempted simple possession or use of marijuana, anything to do with it, you were issued a pardon. Now, listen, I'm not here to discuss whether or not it was a political or a politically charged decision, all right? That's not what I'm here for. What I'm here for is to actually just kind of document what's going on, because this is something that hasn't really happened before, let's be honest. When's the last time you've seen a drug of any sort trending on Twitter, unless people were just talking about how bad it is? Today, though, we have a very interesting crossroads, because now that the president has pardoned people who, used marijuana in the past or who continue to use marijuana, that introduces an interesting topic of discussion on whether or not it should be legal or illegal. And I'm not here to say that I believe it, should be used recreational everywhere. I do think there are, certain points and certain, places, I guess, that you could use marijuana and it would actually benefit your life. So right now the discussion on Twitter is pretty much split between two sides. Now, I'm not saying they're evenly split, but they are split between two sides. There's one side who just want to hate on what's going on right now. I don't know. I can't make the assumption that everybody just hates it because of who did it or why they did it, or they just hate the fact that it was done. And to those people, I would just say, even if someone horrible did a good thing, I feel like there's always going to be people who, disagree with it. And it's not saying that, Biden's horrible. It's just saying that my personal opinion here is that, obviously, I think that this is a good thing. Now, the reason why I'm saying that I think this is a good thing is because it has been widely accepted at this point that marijuana, out of all the drugs ever, and some would even put coffee in there, but out of all the drugs ever, marijuana is probably the most tame, and it's probably the most glorified. Now, there's room for discussion on whether or not marijuana should be considered a drug at all. Technically, it's a plant, it's a herb that helps you. Now, I'm not here to say that it should be, classified as a drug, or it should be not classified as a drug. I am here saying that the amount of marijuana enthusiasts that have came out in support of not just Biden, but more so what he did, that is something to behold. I mean, if you go to Twitter, probably as I'm recording this, so 4:23 on a Friday the 22nd, if you go on Twitter, you will see the outcry. You'll see many people coming to the defense of Biden and what he's doing. Just stuff like one tweet in particular says, "This is fantastic. President Biden just announced he's pardoning thousands of folks convicted of marijuana charges on federal lands in Washington, D.C. Now, Biden's statement is as follows. Criminal records for marijuana use and possession have imposed needless barriers to employment, housing, and educational opportunities. Too many lives have been upended because of our failed approach to marijuana. It is time we right these wrongs." And to that, I mean, you can't hate the guy. He is speaking facts. I mean, let's be honest here, all right? Let's just take a second and let's think about this. I'm just using this as a example, obviously, but if you drive drunk versus you driving high, you're more likely to get into accidents over being drunk than you are marijuana use. And I don't think this is a very hot take. I think everybody pretty much widely accepts this. And with that, comes the fact that technically in most states marijuana is illegal, and in all states alcohol isn't. Granted, they put an age ban on that, but it's just like kids with vaping. I mean, who's really stopping it from happening? It's like on corn sites, it says you can only enter if you're 18. So you press a button that says to confirm you're 18. Wow, you're in. The two things that I just brought up, drinking and corn, I would argue do more damage to our society, to our young youth, than marijuana use does. Now, granted, they call marijuana a memory loss drug. No, I'm just playing. They call it a gateway drug. And yeah, I think it's been widely accepted that it's a gateway drug, which means like when you start smoking marijuana, you get used to the high that you get, and so it encourages you to try out heavier substances or heavier things. And to that, I would say absolutely. But if we know people are going to be using it, and we know people are going to be, promoting it, the least we could do is, give them facts about it. I would also like to read out the statement made by Kamala Harris. This was posted on Twitter about a couple hours ago. President Biden and I have long been clear. We must continue to change our nation's approach to marijuana and reform the criminal justice system. Today, we took another step forward to make sure that the justice system truly lives up to its name. Read my full statement. Okay, I'm not going to read her entire statement. In fact, I'm just going to put it on the screen so you guys can read it for yourself. Pause the video if you want to. And yeah, to be honest, I think the public outcry here is not disappointment. I think it's support, which, let's be honest here, this could be major. This could be major because everybody has been divided since like the president started, right? But with this, rule change or discussion, whatever you want to call it, it brings widely everybody from every side of the coin, whether you're Democratic, Republican, Libertarian, anything, brings everybody from every side of the corner to come together into this community of, I want to call it facts, a community of facts. And I'm going to include myself on that community because honestly, in my opinion, I do think that this is a good thing. I think that we need to stop ostracizing people who use marijuana. And I mean, we could go into every reason about why people don't like the use of marijuana. One of the most named, reasons for why we should hate marijuana and why we should, distance ourselves from it is because it's called the devil's lettuce, I guess. But I would like to shift your guys' attention just to an old folklore that I heard. I'm going to try to find some facts for this, but this is mostly just coming from me. This is what I've read, so I'm going to throw it up on the screen. In the Bible, and this is just, from Christianity perspective, this is all I know. So I'm not going to, go in Islam and in Hinduism and, all these other religions that, marijuana could be used or talked about against, right? But at least for in the Bible and in Christianity, there is no mention of marijuana, devil's lettuce, weed, anything like that. The only mention we have of anything similar to that is, well, everybody knows the dangers of drunkenness, which mostly applies to wine, as to back in the day, back in Jesus's day, they drunk a lot of wine, and that was kind of like their thing. In newer cases, the reason why marijuana is called the devil's lettuce, by the way, is because a bunch of Mexicans, and I'm Mexican, I can blame this on us. A bunch of Mexicans used to get high back in the day, and they used to do crazy shit. So that's where the term devil's lettuce was coined from. But yeah, I'm curious to see how you guys feel about this. Honestly, I just wanted to bring this story to your attention. I'm very excited, honestly, because I like to have these discussions that involve thought. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.